Hi, everyone. Welcome back to English with Friends, the place where we learn English, share ideas, and grow together. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're diving into a topic that many of us face when learning a new language, the fear of making mistakes. If you've ever felt embarrassed, frustrated, or even too scared to speak because you don't want to get something wrong, trust me, you're not alone. Mistakes are a natural part of learning, but they can feel like giant roadblocks when we let fear take over. So, how do we face this fear and turn it into something positive? In this video, we'll explore why making mistakes is actually a good thing, how to shift your mindset, and some practical tips to help you overcome this common struggle. Let's get started. 1. Why do we fear mistakes? First, let's understand where this fear comes from. For many of us, it's about perfectionism or worrying about what others might think. It's normal to want to sound fluent and confident, but here's the truth. Even native speakers make mistakes. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone accidentally say the wrong word or correct themselves mid-sentence? It happens all the time. Often our fear is more about judgment. We worry that others will laugh or think less of us. But guess what? Most people admire the effort it takes to learn a new language. And when you speak, even if it's not perfect, you're showing courage and commitment. 2. Mistakes are your best teachers. Now let's flip the script. Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, think of them as valuable lessons. Every time you make a mistake, you're learning something new. Maybe you discover a grammar rule you didn't know, or perhaps you improve your pronunciation. Mistakes highlight areas for growth, and that's a good thing. Imagine if you never made mistakes. How would you know what to work on? How would you improve? The most successful learners are the ones who embrace their errors and use them as stepping stones to progress. 3. Changing your mindset. The key to overcoming fear is changing the way you think about mistakes. Instead of saying, I'm so bad at this, try saying, I'm learning, and that's okay. Replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Here are a few examples. Instead of, I can't do this, we'll say, I'm still learning and I'll get better. Instead of, people will judge me, say, most people want to help and support me. Remember, every mistake you make brings you one step closer to fluency. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Fourth, practical tips to overcome the fear. Here are some practical steps you can take to feel more confident. A. Practice in a safe environment. Start with friends, language partners, or groups where you feel comfortable. Knowing that others support you can make a big difference. EB. Focus on communication, not perfection. The goal of language is to communicate, not to be perfect. If the person you're speaking to understands you, you're already succeeding. C. Write it down first. If speaking feels overwhelming, try writing your thoughts first. This gives you time to organize your ideas and feel more prepared. D. Laugh at your mistakes. Humor can lighten the mood. If you make a funny mistake, laugh about it. It shows confidence and helps you move on quickly. Celebrate small wins. Did you successfully order food in English? Celebrate. Did you try a new phrase even if it wasn't perfect? Celebrate. Small victories build big confidence. 5. Real-life stories. Let me share a quick story. When I was learning English, I once called a beach a but I by mistake. Imagine the laughter that followed. But instead of feeling ashamed, I laughed too and learned the correct pronunciation. That moment stuck with me, and I never made the same mistake again. Hearing stories like this reminds us that mistakes are just part of the journey. Every successful English speaker you admire has made plenty of them. 6. Encouragement and final thoughts. To wrap things up, I want to remind you that mistakes are not the enemy. Fear is. When you let go of the fear of making mistakes, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. Speak up, practice, and keep going, even when it feels tough. You're doing something incredible by learning English. It takes bravery, effort, and patience. Celebrate every step and don't let the fear of mistakes hold you back. Remember progress over perfection. 7. The science behind learning through mistakes. Did you know that your brain is wired to learn more effectively when you make mistakes? Research shows that making errors activates areas in the brain responsible for learning and memory. When you realize a mistake, your brain works to correct it, which strengthens your understanding. Think of it like this. Every mistake is like a muscle being stretched. The more you stretch it, the stronger it becomes. By facing your fears and stepping outside your comfort zone, you're training your brain to adapt, grow, and thrive. 8. Learning from children's approach. Have you ever noticed how children learn languages? They make tons of mistakes, but they don't stop talking. They experiment with words, create funny sentences, and mispronounce things all the time. Yet they improve so quickly. Why? Because they're not afraid. They don't judge themselves the way adults do. They focus on the joy of learning, and they aren't worried about sounding silly. So, let's take a page from their book. Speak like no one's judging. Experiment with new words. Enjoy the process without overthinking. 9. The role of feedback. One of the most powerful tools for overcoming fear is seeking feedback. When someone corrects you, they're helping you grow, not criticizing you. Here's how to make feedback work for you. Ask for help. If you're unsure about something, don't hesitate to ask a teacher, friend, or language partner. Welcome corrections. Instead of feeling embarrassed, be thankful. Corrections are gifts that make you better. Keep a journal. Write down common mistakes you make and revisit them. Over time, you'll see how much progress you've made. 10. Turning fear into motivation. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, use it as motivation. For example, if you're afraid of speaking in public, set a goal to join an English-speaking group or present something small in class. If you're worried about pronunciation, practice speaking in front of a mirror or record yourself. Listen to the recordings and notice where you can improve. Every time you push past fear, you become stronger and more confident. 11. Practice makes progress, not perfection. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to sound like a native speaker overnight. But remember, fluency takes time. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. Here are some fun ways to practice. Role-play situations. Pretend you're ordering food, asking for directions, or having a casual chat. Join online communities. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or language exchange groups can connect you with native speakers who are happy to practice with you. Use real-life resources. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, and read books in English. Mimic what you hear to improve pronunciation and fluency. 12. Shifting focus from yourself to others. Often, the fear of making mistakes comes from being overly self-conscious. You might think, what will people think of me? Instead, shift your focus to the person you're communicating with. Here's how. Concentrate on making your message clear. Pay attention to their body language and reactions. Remember that most people care more about what you're saying than how you're saying it. 13th, building resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks, and it's a crucial skill for language learners. Here's how to build it. Embrace discomfort. Each mistake is an opportunity to grow. Reward yourself. Celebrate milestones like having your first full conversation in English. Stay consistent. Even if you feel discouraged, keep practicing every day. Small efforts add up over time. 14. Mistakes in grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Let's break down some common areas where learners make mistakes and how to tackle them. Grammar. It's okay to confuse tenses or sentence structure at first. Focus on patterns and rules one step at a time. Vocabulary. Use flashcards or apps like Anki to expand your word bank. If you forget a word, try describing it with the words you know. Pronunciation. Practice tongue twisters. Listen to native speakers and mimic their intonation and rhythm. Remember, progress in these areas comes with repeated practice and patience. 15. Encouraging stories from famous learners. Did you know that many successful people struggled with learning English? Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, faced ridicule for his poor English pronunciation. He practiced daily by speaking to tourists, eventually mastering the language. Sofia Vergara, the actress, still makes grammar mistakes but embraces them with humor. She's a great example of focusing on communication over perfection. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He learned English as an immigrant and built a successful career despite his heavy accent. If they can overcome challenges, so can you. 16. Fun challenges to boost your confidence. Here are some creative challenges to help you get comfortable with mistakes. One take challenge. Record yourself speaking about a topic without editing or re-recording. Share it with a friend for feedback. Daily word challenge. Learn one new word each day and use it in a sentence. Pronunciation. Challenge. Pick a difficult word and practice it until it feels natural. 17. Surround yourself with supportive people. The people around you can make a big difference in your confidence. Surround yourself with friends, mentors, and communities that encourage you. Here are some tips. Find a language buddy. Partner with someone who is also learning English so you can motivate each other. Join language clubs. Many cities have English-speaking meetups where you can practice in a friendly environment. Engage online. Platforms like Reddit, Discord, or Facebook have groups where learners share tips and experiences. 18. Keeping track of your growth. One way to overcome fear is to remind yourself of how far you've come. Keep a journal or use apps to track your progress. Here's what you can include. Words or phrases you've learned, sentences you've spoken or written, mistakes you've corrected. Looking back at your growth will give you a confidence boost and show you that mistakes are just stepping stones. 19. Remember, everyone starts somewhere. Nobody becomes fluent overnight. Think about learning English like planting a tree. At first, it's small and fragile, but with time, care, and patience, it grows strong and tall. Your journey might have ups and downs, but every step forward counts. Don't let fear stop you from reaching your goals. Final words of encouragement. As we wrap up, I want you to remember this. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. Every error is a sign of progress. And every time you practice, you're moving closer to fluency. You're not just learning a language, you're building confidence, resilience, and new opportunities. So speak up, laugh at your mistakes, and enjoy the journey. 20. Mistakes show that you're growing. Let's think about it this way. If you're not making mistakes, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. Staying in your comfort zone might feel safe, but it limits your growth. When you challenge yourself to speak, write, or try something new in English, mistakes are inevitable, but they're also proof that you're growing. Imagine a child learning to ride a bike. They'll fall multiple times before they learn to balance, but every fall brings them closer to riding confidently. Language learning is the same. Each mistake is a small fall that helps you balance your skills better over time. 21. How to handle embarrassment. One major reason we fear mistakes is the feeling of embarrassment. But here's a secret. Most people don't care about your mistakes as much as you think they do. When you feel embarrassed, try these strategies. Take a deep breath. Pause, collect your thoughts, and continue speaking. Laugh it off. Humor is a powerful tool. Laughing at your own mistakes shows confidence and makes the situation less awkward. Reframe the moment. Instead of thinking, I messed up, tell yourself, this is part of learning and I'll improve. Over time, these techniques will help you feel less anxious and more comfortable when speaking English. 22. Learning to apologize without fear. One fear learners have is offending someone unintentionally due to a language mistake. While this is rare, it's good to know how to handle these situations. Be honest. If you realize you've said something wrong, simply say, I'm sorry, I'm still learning English. Ask for clarification. If someone seems confused, ask, did I say that correctly? Thank them for their patience. Most people appreciate your effort and will admire your willingness to learn. These small gestures show humility and confidence, turning potentially awkward moments into opportunities for connection. 23rd, learning from cultural mistakes. Language and culture go hand in hand, and sometimes mistakes happen because of cultural differences. For example, the way you greet someone, express politeness, or use humor might differ from one culture to another. To minimize cultural misunderstandings, learn common phrases and customs. Understanding cultural norms can help you navigate conversations more confidently. Be open-minded. If someone corrects you, see it as a chance to learn about their culture. Share your own culture. Language learning is a two-way exchange. Teach others about your culture while learning theirs. Remember, cultural mistakes often lead to interesting conversations and deeper connections. 24. The fear of speaking versus writing. Mistakes. Some learners feel more comfortable writing in English than speaking, while others feel the opposite. Let's break down these fears and how to overcome them. Speaking mistakes. Fear. What if I say something wrong in front of others? Solution. Practice speaking alone first. Read aloud, record yourself, and listen to improve pronunciation and fluency. Writing mistakes. Fear. What if my grammar is wrong and people think I'm not smart? Solution. Use tools like Grammarly to check your writing. Over time, you'll internalize the corrections and improve your skills. Focus on your strengths while working on areas where you feel less confident. 25. Setting realistic expectations. One reason learners fear mistakes is because they set unrealistic expectations for themselves. They believe they should be fluent quickly or never make errors. Here's the truth. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Here's how to set realistic goals. Short-term goals. Learn 10 new words this week or practice speaking for 5 minutes a day. Medium-term goals. Hold a basic conversation in English within 3 months. Long-term goals. Achieve fluency in a year or two, depending on your learning pace. By focusing on small, achievable goals, you'll feel more motivated and less pressured. 26. The role of consistency. Consistency is the secret ingredient to success in language learning. Instead of aiming for perfection in one session, focus on regular, steady practice. Here's how to build a consistent routine. Daily practice. Dedicate 10 to 30 minutes each day to English, whether it's speaking, writing, or listening. Use reminders. Set alarms or use apps to remind you to practice. Track your progress. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how small. The more consistent you are, the more natural the language will feel, and the less fear you'll have about making mistakes. 27. Mistakes are stories waiting to be told. Think about this. Every mistake you make is a story you can share. When you tell others about the funny or awkward situations you've experienced, you connect with them on a human level. For example, mispronouncing a word in a funny way might make someone laugh and correct you. Using the wrong word could lead to a memorable anecdote you'll never forget. These stories make your language learning journey unique and relatable. 28th, finding role models. Look for people who have learned English successfully and use their stories as inspiration. Here are some ways to find role models. Watch interviews. Many celebrities like Jackie Chan or Priyanka Chopra have shared their struggles with learning English. Join communities. Online forums and groups often feature stories of learners overcoming challenges. Connect with teachers. Language instructors often share their own experiences of learning other languages, which can motivate you. If they can overcome their fears, so can you. 29th, turning practice into play learning doesn't always have to be serious. Turn practice into play by incorporating fun activities. Games, play word games like Scrabble or crossword puzzles. Music. Sing along to English songs and focus on the lyrics. Movies. Watch English films with subtitles and mimic the actors' lines. When learning feels like play, you'll forget about the fear of making mistakes and enjoy the process. The power of positive affirmations. Your mindset plays a huge role in overcoming fear. Use positive affirmations to boost your confidence. Every mistake I make helps me learn and grow. I am proud of the effort I'm putting into learning English. Mistakes are stepping stones to success. Repeat these affirmations daily to build a strong, fearless attitude. 31. Building a growth mindset. A growth mindset means believing that your abilities can improve with effort. Instead of saying, "I'm bad at English," say, "I'm getting better every day." Embrace challenges as opportunities to grow and remind yourself that every successful language learner once struggled just like you. 32nd, embracing imperfection, the beauty of being a learner. Perfection isn't the goal. Communication is. When you're learning English, it's okay to be imperfect. In fact, imperfection makes conversations authentic and human. Think of your mistakes as conversation starters. When you mispronounce a word or use an incorrect phrase, it often leads to laughter or someone offering guidance. This builds stronger relationships. Remember, even native speakers make mistakes. They forget words, mix up grammar, or use slang incorrectly. You're not alone. Instead of aiming for perfect grammar or pronunciation, focus on delivering your message clearly. 33. Creating a safe space for practice. One of the best ways to overcome fear is to create an environment where you feel safe to make mistakes. Here's how. Find a language partner. Choose someone who is patient and encouraging. Join supportive groups. Many online forums like Reddit's language learning communities or Facebook groups are full of learners sharing their journeys. Practice in private. Speak in front of a mirror or record yourself. Listening to your own voice can help you identify areas for improvement while building confidence. A safe space lets you experiment with the language without fear of judgment. 34. Analyzing your mistakes without judgment. Every mistake is a treasure chest of lessons. To learn from your errors, pause and reflect. After a conversation or writing session, think about what went well and what could be improved. Ask for feedback. Encourage others to point out areas for improvement kindly. Write it down. Keep a mistake journal. Note the errors you make frequently and revisit them until they're resolved. By analyzing mistakes with curiosity instead of frustration, you'll grow faster and feel more empowered. 35. The role of listening in reducing fear. Listening is one of the most underrated tools for overcoming the fear of making mistakes. The more you listen to native speakers, the more familiar you become with correct pronunciation, sentence structure, and rhythm. Podcasts and audiobooks. Find English content on topics you enjoy. Movies and TV shows. Pay attention to how characters interact and mimic their style. Songs singing along to English songs improves your pronunciation and rhythm while making learning fun. The better your listening skills, the more confident you'll feel when speaking. 36. Surrounding yourself with English immersion is a powerful way to build confidence and reduce mistakes. Even if you're not living in an English-speaking country, you can surround yourself with the language. Label your surroundings, write English words on sticky notes, and place them on items around your home. Switch your devices to English. Set your phone, computer, and apps to English. Think in English. Practice forming simple thoughts in English like, "What should I eat?" Or, "What's the weather like today?" The more English you encounter daily, the more natural it will feel to use it. 37th. Visualizing success. Visualization is a mental technique that can help you overcome fear. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself speaking English confidently. Picture the smiles on people's faces as they understand you. Imagine yourself navigating conversations with ease, even if you make mistakes. This practice trains your brain to associate English with positive experiences, reducing anxiety and building self-assurance. 38. Using technology to your advantage. Technology can be a fantastic ally in overcoming fear and improving your skills. Here are some tools. Speech recognition apps. Tools like Google Translate or Elsa Speak can help you practice pronunciation and identify areas for improvement. Grammar checkers. Grammarly and Hemingway Editor can correct your writing and teach you better sentence structure. Language learning apps, Duolingo, Memrise, and Babbel provide gamified lessons that make learning enjoyable. These tools give you immediate feedback, helping you correct mistakes without feeling embarrassed. 39th, finding joy in the process. Fear often comes from focusing too much on the end goal. Instead, enjoy the process of learning English. Celebrate the small wins, like using a new word correctly or understanding a tricky sentence. Here's how to make learning more enjoyable. Reward yourself. Treat yourself when you reach a milestone. Try creative methods. Write a short story, create a comic strip, or start a blog in English. Share your progress. Post on social media about your language learning journey. The encouragement from friends can be a great motivator. The more you enjoy the process, the less fear you'll feel. 40. Building confidence through challenges. Confidence grows when you step outside your comfort zone. Take on challenges that push your limits but are still manageable. Join a public speaking club. Organizations like Toastmasters are great for building speaking confidence. Participate in live chats, engage in online discussions, or attend webinars where you can ask questions in English. Create content, record videos, start a podcast, or write articles in English to practice expressing yourself. With each challenge you overcome, your fear of mistakes will shrink. 41. The importance of patience. Learning a language takes time. You won't become fluent overnight, and that's okay. Be patient with yourself and trust the process. Remember, every effort you make adds up. Progress might be slow, but it's still progress. Comparing yourself to others is unhelpful. Focus on your own journey. Patience is a superpower that keeps you moving forward, even when the road feels long. 42. Transforming mistakes into success stories. Here's a fun idea. Start collecting your mistakes as success stories. For example, the time I called a kitchen a chicken and everyone laughed, but now I'll never forget the difference. When I said I am boring instead of I am bored, and it became a joke in my class. By reframing mistakes as funny, memorable moments, you'll stop fearing them and start embracing them. 43rd, reflecting on how far you've come. Whenever fear creeps in, take a moment to reflect on your progress. Think about where you started and how much you've achieved. Write down 3 things you can do now that you couldn't do a month ago. Celebrate your journey no matter how small the steps. Recognizing your growth is a powerful way to silence self-doubt. 44. Encouraging others. One of the best ways to overcome your own fear is by encouraging others. Share your experiences and offer advice to fellow learners. When you help someone else, you'll realize how far you've come and feel more confident about your abilities. Final words. Progress over perfection. The key takeaway from this extended discussion is simple. Focus on progress, not perfection. Every mistake you make is a stepping stone on the path to fluency. By embracing your errors, surrounding yourself with supportive people, and enjoying the learning process, you'll not only improve your English, but also build lasting confidence. Thank you for sticking with me as we explored this topic deeply. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to English with Friends. What's one fear you've overcome while learning English? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. See you in the next video.